Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When we were trying to get this podcast off the ground, we had so many questions. How do we record an episode? Where do we find background music? How do we get our show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other places that people like to listen? And where do we find advertisers? The answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, distributing, and monetizing your podcast. And best of all, it's 100% free and 100% ridiculously easy to use. Anchor makes it simple to get up and running. You can upload and schedule your podcasts ahead of time. It publishes to all the major podcast platforms. You can easily check your stats. I could go on, but instead, why don't you go and get started? Go to anchor.fm/start to join the e-commerce minute and a diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. We can't wait to hear your podcast.
It's the E-commerce Minute, your daily dose of e-commerce, tech, and retail news with your hosts, Bart Mraz and John Suter. The E-commerce Minute is a production of Sumo Heavy, a digital commerce consulting firm in Brooklyn, New York, and Philadelphia. Find us on the web at sumoheavy.com. It's E-commerce Minute episode 251.
In today's episode, buy shares of classic cars with Rally Road.
Classic cars as of late are good investments, but to get into that market, you have to have deep pockets. It's a market that historically has only been accessible to a wealthy few. An app called Rally Road looks to democratize the ownership of classic cars and lets the average Joes get in on the action. The New York-based startup lets investors buy a real equity stake in a classic car for as little as $50. Rally Road turns the car ownership into stock. Each investment on Rally Road is essentially a mini public company, says Christopher Bruno, the startup's co-founder and CEO. Our investors are able to create a custom, diversified portfolio of equity interest in blue-chip collector cars, share by share. Rally Road's team of experts identifies each investment opportunity. Then the company acquires the car and securitizes it, turning it into equity shares. Price per share is determined by the value of the car, divided by 2,000. Investors are then able to purchase stock in the vehicle for as low as $50 per share. Rally Road does not charge any commissions or management fees, and the entire process is completed on a smartphone through the company's mobile app. The cars on Rally Road are always for sale. The startup decides when to sell the car with the help from input from an advisory board, as well as investor sentiment determined by data collected on the app. After a car is sold, the proceeds get paid to its shareholders. If investors want to exit before an asset is liquidated, they can trade their shares on the secondary market during monthly trading windows. The museum quality cars are kept in a purpose-built, temperature-controlled environment, which is prepaid by the money raised in each offering. Investors will soon be able to watch a 24/7 live stream of the car they own a stake in. Rally Road currently takes no management fees or share of the offering, but plans to offer additional premium or subscription services in the future to generate revenue.
I can see some guy just putting it on his TV as a screensaver.
Yeah, I would do it.
I'm watching my car.
This is very, very exciting especially if you're into cars.
So on their homepage, it's basically all iPhone app, but on their homepage they have a 1963 Ferrari 250 GT Lizzo, and it's gorgeous. And actually, since 2007, it gained 300% in.
Yeah, so if you watch that the Meacham auction show, I always seem to catch that. The value of classic cars have really gone through the roof. To dovetail it into just plain investing, they always say invest in what you know about. The stock market's kind of funny because you can invest in an index fund, or you can say, oh, I'm really into computers, but that's not always like a safe way to go, especially if you say, oh, I'm only going to invest in computers, or I'm only going to invest in e-commerce, or I'm only going to invest in pharma stocks, because each one of those sectors can get hit. And it's the same thing for this. But this adds a little level of excitement because it takes something that is exotic and out of reach for most people and puts it into their hands. So I signed up for this, and I bought a share of a 1995 BMW M3 Lightweight, this gorgeous little car. The value listed on the car is $118,000. So what happens is Rally Road buys this car, they add their fee to the total value of the car. So when the car is sold for that for whatever price they ask, their fee is already built into the asking price, and then you get paid from there.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting.
So I bought a couple shares in this BMW. We'll see where it goes. But at any rate, it's really exciting because you're investing in something that you're very much interested in.
And also like a physical good, right? It's a
physical good. And I think we're seeing a lot more of these. And again, apps and the internet make this possible. I also, there's another company out called Masterworks where you can buy fractional shares of artwork, and they bought this Andy Warhol painting, and they show you like this stuff, art and classic cars, the stuff value just keeps going up. So I bought a couple fractional shares in this Andy Warhol painting. Now it's like one of those set it and forget it things. Like I'm sure I'll get an email, 6 months from now, hey, we sold the painting, here's your $28 or whatever. But it's still exciting. And it's,
Well, I mean, kind of, because if you see there's a lot of those kind of things popping up, right? We've been playing with funds when was it
the Fundrise. Yeah. Oh, I love
Fundrise
it.
stuff, right? Like, I mean, to me, apartment buildings are just the place to go, but
where you make the money.
But you can start with what is it, $500 or whatever that is, and you put it in, 500. And like, if you watch it, they just finished the building in Austin that's going up for apartments.
Yeah,
and they just sold 2 buildings.
Fundrise is really exciting because you can actually see what your money is doing. They give you reports, and basically when you invest in Fundrise, you're again a fractional owner of apartment complexes, and that's solely what they invest in, just apartment complexes. And every time you go in there, they say, oh, here's a new project, here's where we're at. They show you all pictures of the apartment complex, and then as Bart had just said, they'll show you when they're involved in a construction project, here's where it's going. And you can isn't there a thing where you can give input? You can say, didn't they have something where in that Austin apartment complex, they said, do you like this finish or not? Or do you think
I think so. Yeah. I haven't seen that, but I believe they do that from time to time just to be involved. And like, from investment point of view, like you can put money in and you can get paid out every month or every quarter, or you can just let it ride where they could be reinvesting this stuff, which is, I mean, it depends where you are or what you want to do with it, right?
Right. Depends on where you are in life. You're living off the dividends or you're reinvesting.
Right.
So this is really cool though.
Yeah. You're starting to see a lot more of these things. That makes sense, right? Because the laws for investment have changed where, crowdfund stuff is happening. And then this is just bigger things, right? Instead of being Kickstarter for a new project, this is, old cars are just going to be old cars all the time, we'll see.
Yeah, no, and I like this because, like I said, it's exciting. It always goes up, and we'll throw a couple stats at you here. Classic cars have increased in value 457% in the last 10 years. That's 457, not 4, not 5, not 7, 457% in the last 10 years, according to the Knight Frank Luxury Investment Index. So Rally Road's betting that number will rise. The asset class, being classic cars, has outperformed gold, the S&P 500, and the New York City real estate market since 2012. Keep that in mind. So this gives you a lot of potential. Again, always diversify your portfolio. Never invest in one thing. Don't put your money all in gold. Don't stick it under your mattress. That's your 2 cents for the day. That's your investment.
Have that money working for you.
And the money, yeah. What does the guy from Shark Tank say? I like to send my money out in the morning and have it come back with his friends.
Make some friends and come back.
Make some friends. I like my money to go out in the morning and work and come back and bring his friends back with him. So, yeah, this is really cool. So Rally Road, it's RALLYRD.com. Go check it out. You can sign up, but it's better just to download the app through the App Store. Beautiful interface, beautiful UI, beautiful cars. If you're into cars, just download it. Just go look at it, check out, look at pretty cars. I think right now they have like 8 cars listed. A lot of Lamborghinis, BMWs. There's a Lotus. Yeah, pretty cool. Anyway, Rally Road. Got anything else, Bart?
No, that's it.
All right, that's your e-commerce minute for today. We'll see you on the internet tomorrow. An app called Rocky Road. A delicious ice cream called Rocky Road.
Leave that in there. It's funny.
That's it for today's show. If you like the show, do us a favor and subscribe or leave us a review on iTunes. And don't forget, you can now listen to the e-commerce minute on your Amazon device. Just add e-commerce minute to your flash briefing. And finally, if you have a comment or suggestion or just want to say hi, find us on social media @Sumo Heavy.